Hi guys, Archie Luxury channel, Paul Pluta channel, and welcome to my my channel, guys. Now today I want to talk about the joys of watch ownership in relation to other hobbies, and comparing a luxury watch to a luxury automobile. That's right. We're going to compare the two as far as a proposition goes. Before I start, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and don't forget, look in the description for 10 ways you can keep me full-time on YouTube. Quick wristwatch check. Wristwatch check. IWC Ingy. I'm wearing the Ingy today. And today I want to talk to you guys. I want to talk to you about something. I've been trolling around the internet. I've been a little bit looking around, looking a bit for some inspiration. And I came across this great YouTube channel, ASTON 1936. ASTON 1930. Oops, I've closed it. Yes, ASTON 1936. And he's got some really good videos on YouTube. He talks about the true running costs. He's got a Aston Martin DB9. He's also got a website, ASTON1936.com. ASTON1936.com. And he really makes he talks about his car. Obviously his hobby is expensive luxury supercars. And he's in America, which I tell you what, these things are so much more expensive in Australia. But I got to tell you, he put together a video about the true cost of ownership, and he's had his DB9 for 3 years, and he talks about it. He says, "Well, I paid for my car. This is on road with all the expenses. It cost him $69,000 US." He then spoke about how his car is worth low 40s now, $40,000 US, and he spoke about the costs of registration, insurance, scheduled maintenance. That's the oil and filter and brakes and peripherals. He spoke about tires and auxiliaries like that, cost of cleaning it, cost of fuel, and also unscheduled repairs, which on a British car, a British supercar, you could imagine they would be pretty cost horrendous. And really interesting YouTube channel and interesting website, and very interesting to compare costs. And the funny thing is, you know, you look at someone's watch collection in this day and age there, and there are a lot of watch collectors in my audience here who have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of wrist watches. That's not too impossible to come to. I mean, I've got a good fan in Sydney. He's got about $150,000 worth of modern sports Rolexes. I've got Brian from Zircon. He's got a very nice collection. I got quite a few people I know have got spectacular collections, and they've put a lot of money into it. And I just wanted to compare the ownership experience between having a beautiful luxury supercar, because let's face it, when you're talking Aston Martin, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, that's what we're sort of talking about. You know, we're talking super performance cars. And it's interesting. I mean, you can buy a very decent car in America, what, $40,000, $50,000 US. And if we compared that hobby to, say, having $40,000 or $50,000 in wristwatches, what costs would we have? Well, we'd have the purchase costs, depreciation. Now, this is an interesting thing. We don't really have I mean, I suppose if you bought it new, it certainly would depreciate, but a lot of them hold. You basically have your buy price, then your sell price when you sell it later on. And I suppose it depends what type of watches you'd have there. Like, I mean, you buy an IWC Ingy. This here was bought from the boutique. This is an 07, originally sold 07, and so it's a 10-year-old watch now. That was 855,000 yen. It's about what, $8,500 US. It's now worth about, what's it worth now? $3,000 to $5,000 US. So but if you're buying it already used, what's it going to be worth? So you buy this for, say, 4,000 US. What, you're going to get it for 2 in 3 years' time? I don't think it's going to, it's going to start picking up, I think. When you compare having a luxury wristwatch collection, it's a better hobby financially than supercars or sports cars. And this is the whole thing. It really gets you thinking. You're thinking, wow, we don't have, I mean, suppose you've got storage fees. You'd have to, I highly recommend like a safety deposit box where you put your watches away. I'd highly recommend, you've got to factor in some service costs. You'd need to factor in some, I suppose, straps you'd buy on a watch with a leather strap. You'd have some costs there itself. But I don't think they'd be anywhere near as savage as having a expensive, prestigious supercar like an Aston Martin. And in his case, his $69,000 he put into it's now worth $40,000. Plus, he's had these huge running costs. His hobby. So you take out the purchase price minus the current value, add on all the costs. He says his hobby costs him $50 a day. Okay, that's if he sold the car now, cashed out. That hobby would have cost him $50 a day for 3 years. Okay, so it's quite an interesting equation there, in the sense that you look at what does it cost to join this sort of secret club here, and watches is nowhere near as savage as that. So $50 a day by 365, that's cost him $18,000 a year. Well, you buy a watch, wear it, and then you sell it, and sometimes you lose a little bit, sometimes you lose a lot, sometimes you make a profit. It certainly wouldn't be making a profit buying and selling Aston Martins. I can't see that. Any of those supercars. Well, I suppose you could buy Ferraris. Certain Ferraris have gone up. They have gone up. So it's a very interesting thing. And I got to tell you, I said to my friend, very, very nice guy in Sydney. He's got quite a Rolex, modern Rolex collection. And he's also got a Maserati. And I said, your Maserati, second-hand now, is worth similar to what your watch collection is. If you could only have one, either the watch collection or the Maserati, what would you choose? And he said he'd probably choose the watches. He'd choose the watches. And he's got a Maserati Quattraport. So, I kind of think watches is a far superior hobby financially than having a very expensive automobile. And what gives you more joy and pleasure? That's what we're after. We're after a bit of joy, pleasure in the senses. And I think the watches may be the better way to go. It may be the better way to go. Watches, luxury, prestigious, luxury, beautiful timepieces. And it's an interesting equation. What do you think is a better hobby to have? What's a better hobby to have? So, yeah. What do you think there? It's I'll put a link into his videos on YouTube down below, and I'll put a link to his website, ASTON1936.com. Very interesting when you compare these hobbies, and I don't think my watch. Yeah, of course I've lost money. I've lost money on some watches, but I've made money on other ones. So tell me, what do you think's the better hobby to have? It's a very interesting thing. And if any of you guys out in the audience have an exciting sports car, like a Porsche, Maserati, Ferrari, Aston Martin, anything a little bit exciting, what would you prefer to have? The prestige luxury supercar or the watch collection? So it's a very interesting thing. It's very interesting. And I think financially, watches would have to come out way ahead. So I'd like to point this question to all the audience there. What would you rather have? A $40,000 to $50,000 luxury super sort of car, or a really cool watch collection? I'm Archibald Chesterfield III. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and tell me what you think.
We specialize here in pre-owned Rolex watches. Rolex watch is a very special timepiece, and we always do the servicing exactly as factory specifications. We buy a pre-owned piece and we put it into brand new condition. We have Rolex certified technicians working on that. We completely disassemble the piece, we adjust and polish and change every single part of the watch.
You have to have certified watchmakers that know what they're doing. If you have an expensive car, you're just not going to bring it to any mechanic that doesn't know what they're doing.
You spend $5,000, it's like if you put money in the safe deposit box. And 1 or 2 years from now, you will keep having your $5,000. We have to spend a lot of money to get all this equipment together, but makes me feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's not a question of money, it's my passion.
Jewelers on time, simply the best.